My name's Kayla Wade. I say them pronouns. I'm the logistics director and the founder of the Southern Oregon Coalition for Racial Equity, or SOEquity. I started this organization because I saw both an incredible need and an incredible opportunity in Southern Oregon to really start connecting people in really meaningful ways and getting us to a point where we are truly moving towards the same goal of creating a more equitable and a more just society and community. I was born and raised here in Grants Pass, lived here just about my whole life, moved away for a little bit and came back in 2019, and there was a lot of things that were still the same, but so much has changed from when I was a kid growing up. And it's just been so incredible over this last year to meet so many new people in my hometown, in my home area, who are truly willing to fight with me, fight for me, and alongside me. There's still a lot of work to be done, but we've come so far in just a year, and I can't wait to see what we do in the next year.
Hi there, I'm Josh. I wanted to wish SOE a happy anniversary. It's their 1-year anniversary, and it's hard to believe that it's been a year. The first time I'd even heard of SOE or the people that were getting it started was right after the George Floyd incident, when we were beginning protests here in Southern Oregon. When I actually got involved with SOE was after the fire. Me and a few friends, we were doing a weekly feed out at Hawthorne Park. And after the fire, we realized that the need was in a crisis mode. There was no resource for a lot of these people, many of them the homeless that were pushed off of the Greenway when all their stuff burned. So suddenly we had a crisis on hand. SOE stepped up, and they helped us to organize and turn our once-a-week feed into a daily feed so we could provide a daily resource for these folks out at Hawthorne Park. I'm proud to be a part of that now, and it's insane that it's been a year, and I just wanted to thank you guys so much for doing this for your community. Let's do this for another 100 years.
This past year has been insane. The very first time that we really tried to get out there in the community and spread the word about racial awareness and social justice, we were called terrorists, and we were the Antifa mob that was gonna ravage the sleepy town of Rogue River. I don't know what other crazy stories were out there, but they were pretty out there. So when that happened, we just made news just for existing. And then we had these motorcyclists drowning out our voice so that we couldn't say why it is that we were there. We didn't even want to protest. We wanted to have a barbecue and talk. And the entire reason that we even chose Rogue River to begin with as our first destination was because 2 biracial girls came up to me one day, and they said that their town was totally racist. They said that they didn't feel comfortable with a lot of the things that the adults were saying, and adults are supposed to set the standard for what's right and wrong, and they weren't receiving that. Going to school here in Southern Oregon, I knew exactly what they were talking about, and I thought it was pretty sketchy that all of the white-skinned folk were saying that there's no racism here, magically. So it was because of those little girls that told me about their experiences that I went back and told my team that we need to get out there and let those girls know that their voices didn't go unheard. But then the turnout, it turned into chaos, because that town showed that the voices of those biracial kids didn't matter. And I don't think they quite realized the impact that they had, and it was a negative one at that. But that was last year. And now this year, when people think SOEquity, they think about all of the awareness that we've brought to the community. They think about the meals that we've brought to houseless folks. They think about the tireless effort that we put into making our community better. And they see that we want to work with anyone that wants to make positive change. And honestly, this may seem crazy, but anytime a bigot white person calls me a terrorist because I want their biracial kids to have a voice, I just wear that as a badge of honor, because I open up my ears and I listen to these kids. And I got a biracial son myself, so I already know the obstacles, and I already know the uncomfortable conversations that they don't want to have, that I absolutely have. And I'm definitely looking forward to more years of lasting change, from the streets to public policy.
My name is Adora Snyder, and I help out SOEquity since July. My job in SOEquity is I work at the Hawthorne Park Feeds, and I also cater out to the protests and events we host.
My name is Keziah Anderson, and I'm a general member of SOEquity. And for the past year, I've seen SOEquity rise from the bottom to the top and has drastically helped the racial tension here in the Valley, because whenever anyone hears our name, they know, hey, these guys aren't here to mess things up. They're just here to try to help fix the racial tension that we have in the Valley. And because of that, we hold a lot of respect in the Valley. Like one instance, we went to Rogue River, and personally speaking, I was surprised that the sheriffs were standing on our side of the street making sure we were protected, and multiple of the sheriffs looked at me and were like, yeah, we know you guys are decent guys. You know, we know you guys aren't here to cause no trouble. We're just here to make sure they don't hurt you guys. And that personally felt kind of good, because 4 years ago, that wasn't a thing.
Hello, my name is Emerson Miller. My pronouns are she, her. I've been with SOEquity for over a year now. The first in-person event I actually attended was the Houseless community gathering outside the Medford City Council. And that event really helped cement my goals, which is to help our houseless community members and just make everyone feel loved and supported in our community. You know, I just finished college and I got a job as an educator now, so I'm going to be teaching young people, and I hope to teach them anti-racism just like I've learned, and I'm an anti-racist educator. SOEquity has really given me the tools to succeed in whatever I do with my life, as an activist, as an educator, and I just really hope to continue that great work with SOEquity as a general member. I feel so loved and supported. It's such important, great work that we're doing here, and I'm really looking forward to the next year with SOEquity.
Hi, SOEquity. Melissa here from the Stab and Wagon. I just wanted to wish you a happy 1 year. Each and every one of you has meant so much to our community, to me personally. You've brought so much to Southern Oregon that is in desperate need of your work. The culture here is very embedded in white supremacy, and your work and education to help our community be anti-racist is invaluable. I know it's been a lot of physical, emotional, financial labor for each and every one of you, and I can't say enough how much I recognize and appreciate that. I also want to speak to the fact that you single-handedly saved the Hawthorne Daily Feed. I was there since day one when it was totally born out of a Black Lives Matter protest, and some folks from the community started it up. And then the fires happened, everything transpired. The Hawthorne went up as a mutual aid support for the fires, and it ended up getting raided and demolished. And after that, the daily feed was just like a few of us hanging by a thread. I remember we got like Little Caesars pizza or anything that was donated out of our pocket. We were all spending money out of pocket. And I just remember Kayla having a meeting with Kayla at the park, and your willingness to step in and coordinate volunteers and hook up with Rogue Food Unites, so we had food through COVID, so we weren't, having to make homemade meals, which wasn't, it was a safety issue, and you really problem solved. And to Emily, I'll be forever grateful to all the work you've done at Hawthorne. Truly, we wouldn't have been able to do it without you. And Brenna, Dominique, both of you are amazing. And I just love you all so much as individuals and as an entity. And I want nothing more but our community to keep supporting you, lifting you up, financially supporting you, so you can keep doing the work that is so necessary here. And I love you all, and happy birthday again.
And until you actually learn acceptance, I have a unique perspective, and so does each.
I would love to offer some appreciations for this amazing org, SOEquity, and celebrating 1 year. I feel blessed to see all the fruits of everything that's come of this year. Beautiful events, gatherings, protests, vigils. It's wonderful to see this blossoming. And reflecting on the last year, some of my favorite memories, or one of them that stands out, was being at a protest in Rogue River. And it was a pretty intense protest, and there was like two sides of the road, and we had like the Trump supporters on one side and like SOEquity on the other side, and everyone who came to rally, and there was just this tension. And there was a really beautiful moment that happens, and that was the moment when we were speaking, and at first everyone was speaking to the other side and kind of yelling at each other, but there was a moment when they turned the circle in, and all of us kind of turned and listened to the speakers, and suddenly we were a circle. And it really just highlighted the power of like this work and centering BIPOC in Southern Oregon, centering us, hearing our voices, us hearing our voices, and how powerful that is. So I'm deeply grateful for all the folks who showed up during the fires. Everything that happened was rallied around, to see that beauty. So thanks.
Hi, my name is Anna Ford, and I just want to thank SOEquity for being in Rogue Valley. As a person of color, it's just really hard. There's been a lot of stuff this year. A young man was shot 5 blocks from my house, African American, young 19-year-old. And it's been really hard. It's the presence with the police, the white presence with the police is so dominant and hostile, and there's just so much hostility. And I think it's just been difficult for me. And I suppose there are a lot of memories, but I think, I wasn't really leaving my house, and it was just a protest to go to, and I just needed that. I just needed to be around other people of color, and I just want to, really thank SOEquity because it's Black-led, and I just appreciate the Black presence of the Black community, and being visible, and having a chance to support that. And so Yeah, I just remember being in a protest in Medford and like, you know, like the horns going by and stuff, and just like raising my voice with other people. And I know SOEquity does so much more. They do so much more, and totally necessary stuff with Hawthorne Park. But just for little old me, I just have to say that I was just grateful to have a space to be with other people of color, that I felt safe, and that I could advocate for myself and people that I care about in our community. And yeah, I would just say it over and over. But thank you.
My name's Emily Mann. I'm the Community Outreach Director for SOEquity. I've been working with the organization since August. I was brought on during the Rogue River event that we planned, because when I originally moved here, that's where I lived, and I was so excited to see folks doing racial equity and racial awareness work in that town. It's historically not a great place if you're black or brown. And I had heard a lot of stories from folks that lived there their whole life, and I was just so excited to see that there was going to be an opportunity for those folks to come together and share stories about their city, and really have a platform. And a lot of people know it didn't really work out that way, but I was really impassioned by what I saw SOEquity create for that event, and I was looking to leave my soul-crushing 9-to-5 nonprofit job, and I was, just super grateful that the whole team was willing to bring me on board, and I feel like we've accomplished a tremendous amount over the last year as a tiny little organization with only 5 folks really running things, getting paid very sporadically, and just making it work kind of month to month to not only have programming for the community that's accessible and aware, but to kind of create a space and help shift the culture of Southern Oregon, creating an environment that's more inclusive and acceptable and accessible for everybody that lives here. So I'm just really grateful to be a part of it, and I can't wait to see what happens next year.
My name is Brenna Hess, and I am the Social Media Director and Resident Secretary for SOEquity. I got involved with SOEquity at the very beginning. I was really involved in a lot of the protests and things that were happening for George Floyd back when all that started, and I was looking for something that I could do to actually use my privilege and make a difference. So a lot of the groups that I had joined, one of the Black Lives Matter groups, I noticed that Kayla had posted on there about SOEquity, which was the organization they were forming, and I went to the first Zoom meeting and several more after that, and then Kayla put out a call for hiring a few leadership positions, and I offered up my services as secretary because I'm a Virgo and that's my jam. So Kayla thought that looked like a good plan, and they hired me, and I've been doing that ever since. And my job has shifted a little bit. Now I'm doing a little bit more of the social media stuff, doing graphics and working on the website, but I love being a part of this team of amazing people, and it's really, 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 really rewarding work. It's very emotionally intense at times, but it's really, really awesome, and I'm really glad to be doing it. Happy birthday, SOEquity!